Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Odds here, and it is Tuesday morning, and the Raptors are on a West Coast road trip. They're about to play their second game of the West Coast road trip tonight against the Golden State Warriors. And I've got your latest lineup news and ref report for this morning. Other kinds of stuff too, like Instagram stories and the straight goods on Canadian goods also. So yeah, stay tuned. Let's go right to it right now. Here are the latest lineup news for the Toronto Raptors. Right now, Chucky Hepburn is still out due to surgery on a meniscus. He is going to be out for a bit still. Already ruled out for today's game, RJ Barrett. He is not returning tonight against Golden State for ankle injury. Jakob Poeltl is ruled out also today already due to his back, the ongoing saga. Jacoby Walter has been ruled out tonight due to his hip pointer injury. Also, he's been out for a good little bit here. And Colin Murray-Boyles is also ruled out for tonight now as of things. So he's definitely out too, Colin. So I guess Sandro's going to be our center tonight. And Jonathan Mobo is going to get time as the backup. And Scottie's probably going to have to do some stuff too. As somebody said in the chat yesterday, the Warriors do run Draymond at center a lot. And Quentin Post is a young player who's kind of green. And I don't know. He's kind of a legit center, but maybe Jonathan, Scottie, and Sandro can do stuff to kind of slow down the young Quentin Post. So yeah, Raptors are missing these 5 players for sure, and that's it. There's nobody else on the injury list, so everybody else is coming in as far as the way it is right now. So Emmanuel, Jamison, good to go. Chucky, RJ, Jakob, Jacoby, and Colin. Colin Murray-Boyles is out today, just so you guys know. So I'm going to speculate the starting lineup for the Raptors tonight could very well be a quick shed with Quickly and Shed in the backcourt with Brandon, Scottie, and Sandro starting up front. That's a guess that I'm making. They could put Oshai in there instead of Jamal, something like that. I like the quick shed start with the 2 small point guards to start, especially if they can start big with Brandon, Sandro, and Scottie. So we'll just have to see how the Raptors want to play it with the personnel they have available. Now, people are saying, why don't they do something? Why don't they do something? Well, it occurred to me that the Raptors, in some ways, want to stress test their team and see how these guys do in certain ways. I get it. You guys are exactly right. You play out of position, you're more likely to get hurt and have problems and stuff like that. But also at the same time, this is a discovery time for the Raptors franchise to figure out the pieces that are going to go forward further into the rebuild. And in some ways, you got to sink or swim. And with guys out, next man up, players have to come in and produce and show that they can fill those spots. And if they can't, well, what is the future for them on the team? That's basically what it is right there. So, in some ways that unsettledness, that uncomfortableness, that like, this isn't exactly right is actually an impetus, a catalyst to get more results out of players and see if they go further because of it. So I don't know. I'm trying to spin it that way. Everybody's wondering, why doesn't Bobby just fix this? Well, maybe he's stress testing our team to see who really actually has what it takes. You know what I'm saying? There's a big, huge injury for the Warriors last night, guys. Jimmy Butler tore his right ACL against the Miami Heat last night because they played last night, and he is done for the season. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know, man. It's like for sure. He tore it in the middle of the game last night, and he's done. He's done. He's not going to be playing for the Warriors for the rest of the season because of this injury last night. They did beat the Miami Heat at home last night. So the Warriors are on the second night of a back-to-back playing against us tonight. So they went all out and played a high-scoring game against the Miami Heat and Norman Powell. And they did win. The Warriors did win this game last night. So, but it's a home and home back-to-back, so they didn't travel. And they're going to play us at home also. But yeah, Jimmy's out. This is crazy, man. This is the latest lineup news right here. Exactly. Jimmy Butler's out for the rest of the season. You won't see him tonight. They rested Draymond last night. They did not play Draymond against the Miami Heat because they wanted to save him for us tonight. So Draymond Green should be on the court tonight against the Raptors because he rested the first game last night, and he's going to play the second night of the back-to-back against us. Seth Curry is making progress in his recovery from a sciatica nerve issue, and he should be reevaluated in about a week or so. But he is out. Seth Curry. Seth. Make sure I enunciate correctly. Seth Curry. DeAnthony Melton is ruled out for the game last night due to a left knee injury management. But could he be on management like Draymond, and he's showing up to play for us against us tonight? We'll have to see. DeAnthony Melton status close to the game. Guy Santos, one of the younger players on the Warriors, has been out recently, but Steve Kerr is hopeful that Santos can return against the Raptors tonight. He's had an ankle injury. So that's the injury news for the Golden State Warriors. It's huge. Jimmy Butler is out now for the season, guys. So who do I expect the Warriors to start tonight? Steph Curry, of course, the Hall of Fame league-changing, league-shattering point guard of the Golden State Warriors for a long time now. Stephon Curry starting at point guard. Moses Moody at shooting guard. We'll see if DeAnthony Melton is available. If he is, he'll probably start at small forward in the place of Jimmy Butler. Draymond Green at power forward, and Quentin Post in the post in center. Off the bench, Brandon Podziemski, Gary Payton II, Buddy Hield, Al Horford, Pat Spencer, Will Richard, Trace Jackson Davis. Let's see who else. Jonathan Kuminga for now. That is actually interesting. Kuminga has straight up asked for a trade, and he is a distraction. And Steve Kerr has come out in the last couple of days saying that it is just an unfortunate situation for everybody as far as Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors. What's going on with Jonathan? So don't expect Jonathan to be out on the court. Things have disintegrated even worse than the things that were going on last summer with the weird posturing about him in the Warriors. So it's even got worse. So a young player like Kuminga who has potential, he is not even being utilized. He's a dead end to the Golden State Warriors at this point. And that's that. They get more out of Pat Spencer, a guy who works moonlighting at Home Hardware at night. So yeah, that's the Warriors, man. And lately the Warriors have been winning pretty good. We beat them last December around New Year's. We beat them in an overtime game in Toronto, 141-127. It was awesome. It was such a fun game. And well, since then, they've done pretty good. They've only lost 3 games since that game at the end of December. So they've been winning a lot more. In fact, they're 9-3 since that win the Raptors had over them. So they're 9-3. So they're definitely on a winning clip. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, the Golden State Warriors right now. So let's stop it. Let's stop our losing streak of 2, and let's stop their winning streak of 4. Raptors. So, even if the shorthanded, next man up. And yeah, whatever center, whoever wants to try and be a center tonight. Come on down, Raptors. Scottie Barnes, you playing center tonight? Probably. Yeah, probably. Jonathan, you're going to play tonight? Yeah, you're playing tonight. You're playing tonight, Mobo. And Sandro, yeah, I hope your hip and your tailbone don't feel too bad after taking some hard lumps in the last game against the Lakers. Yeah, let's see what ESPN's matchup predictor is saying for what they think is the favorite tonight. I'm pretty sure they're favoring the Warriors. Yeah, they are 62% to 38% for the Warriors is what ESPN is predicting right now in their matchup predictor. So they're giving the home team some home advantage. So that's crazy, man. 62%. That's a pretty high percentage. All right, let's go look at the refs, guys. In the replay center tonight in New Jersey, Andy Nagy, JT Orr, and John Goebel will be sitting there watching from afar. And on the scene, our crew chief tonight is the dubious Josh Tiven. Josh Tiven is in his 16th season out of Norwich, Connecticut, number 58. His favorite TV show is Seinfeld. He likes the movie Minority Report. He listens to Dermot Kennedy. His favorite book is Firstborn. It's a book written by his dad, probably about him. Pretty egotistical, honestly. Favorite meal, chicken parmesan with vodka sauce. His favorite app is Instagram. He most like to visit Hawaii. He's like to play golf at Augusta National. And his hidden talent is a yo-yo expert. Yeah. Josh Tiven considers his most memorable NBA assignment to be Game 7 of the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals between the Bucks and the Nets, won by the Bucks 115 to 111 in overtime. Yeah, Josh Tiven, we've had him twice this year already, and we are 1-1. We lost the last game that he refereed for us. We win overall in the history of Josh Tiven 54% of our games. And the Warriors win 54% of their games also. But the percentages are percentage points ahead, 0.6 percentage points for the Warriors. So it's 53.6 for the Raptors and 54.2 for the Warriors. So very, very close. You could almost say it's even though the home court advantage also is there. And Josh Tiven has not been nice to the Raptors in the last year. Let's just put it that way. He's the one who took that game winner away from Shed last season when Shed hit the buzzer beater that was just a hair past the time. He took that away from the home crowd. So he's a Grinch, Josh Tiven. The second ref is Shea Flores. They are in their fourth season out of LA, number 91. Their favorite TV show is Stranger Things. They like K-pop. Demon Hunters is the movie. Their favorite musician is Disclosure. That's some pretty good music, honestly. Disclosure. That's some pretty good music. Favorite book, The Song of Achilles. Favorite meal, tuna fries. Favorite app, Golf Now. Would most like to visit Seoul, Korea. And their bucket list is to walk the Camino de Santiago. Shea Flores, them, has officiated 99 regular season games and 3 seasons as an NBA staff official. Flores refereed 12 regular season games as a non-staff official in 2021-2022 NBA season. That's right. Shea Flores has not refereed us this year yet. This will be the first game they referee for us this year. We have a good winning percentage with them, 57% winning percentage for the Raptors, and Warriors 44%. So with referee Flores, 57 to 44 for the Raptors. They're actually the best referee for the Raptors today. The third ref we've had a few times this year already is the longstanding old school referee who used to play in the league, Leon Wood. Leon Wood in his 30th season, number 40 out of Columbia, South Carolina. His favorite TV show is Law and Order. Favorite movie, Black Panther, and also the Equalizer movies. He likes to listen to hip-hop music. His favorite meal is steak. His favorite app is Hulu, and he most like to visit Africa and Australia. Yeah, as a player, Leon Wood was the 10th pick in the famed 1984 NBA draft, which also included Akeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley. He played in the NBA for 6 seasons with the Sixers, the Bullets, Nets, the Spurs, the Hawks, and the Kings, and he averaged 6.4 points per game, 3.2 assists, and 1.2 rebounds in 274 NBA games played. So, yeah, Leon Wood's a real player. He actually really played in the NBA, guys. He is, much like Josh Tiven, a 1-1 record with the Raptors this year so far. This will be the third game he's ref for us. We lost the last game that Leon Wood was a part of. His record with us over his 30 years, which is pretty much all of the Raptors' history, is 55% winning. So he has been a good ref for the Raptors over the 30 years. And the Warriors, well, 53% winning over those 30 years. So 55 to 53 for the Raptors with the veteran former NBA player Leon Wood as the third ref today. So the ref crew is it's not too bad. 2 of them are great. But Josh Tiven, I don't trust that motherfucker. No, I don't. No, I don't. I used to think he was a good ref, but last year it made me change my mind because he really was all about going against us. So we'll just have to see how Josh is tonight. You know, Flores and Wood, I don't worry about them. They're good refs. It's Tiven. And Tiven is the crew chief, and he is the one who will direct any kind of NBA narratives. If they decide they don't want the Raptors to be beating Steph Curry and the Warriors tonight, Josh Tiven will be the leader of stopping that if the refs are going to have a say in it. So be aware of this and watch for it tonight. And we'll see if it happens or not. Hopefully the Raptors can play a very, very good game. They can avoid any kind of these shenanigans, right? Right? That's how it is. All right, there's your latest lineup news and your ref report for Raptors at Warriors. I think we start at 10:30 tonight. It's going to be a late one. So maybe you might need an afternoon nap. All right, let's see. Trevor J, first in the house. Thank you, Commissioner Fun. Let's see what you're saying. The calmer you are, clearer you think. Let your decisions come from a place of peace, not from reaction. Yeah, this has been a huge lesson for me personally in my life, that I found that the best way to do things is to not react at that time. It's to process. It's to let things come over you and say, okay, all right. But don't say anything. Don't react at that moment. Take the information, ingest it, think about it, and formulate what the next move is methodically instead of emotionally. Sometimes if you react in the moment, it's emotions, pure emotions, and sometimes they're not the best thing to act through because they can make you do something stupid. You can make you have dumb things happen. So yeah, sometimes the best thing to do. And plus, the other thing is some people will prod you and push you for reaction. And that's the big thing with a bully or something like that. If you give them a reaction, they'll keep bullying you because that's what they want. So sometimes reaction withheld is the most powerful thing you can do. And then empower yourself to understand, well, these are my options, and this is what I can do after the fact to empower myself. So yeah, great words of wisdom this morning, Trevor J. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Blessings to the Jones family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Trevor's saying this: Dallas beat New York last night in Madison Square Garden. It's awesome. So good. The Mavericks beat y'all. Towns and Powell were playing nutcracker on the floor, kicking each other in the nuts. Dwight Powell was kicking Cat in the nuts last night. That's hilarious. Yeah, there were some good outcomes in some of the NBA games last night. The Knicks losing, I think Boston lost to Detroit. So the standings, we can go do a standings watch real quick. The Raptors are a half game behind the Knicks because of the loss last night. And because the Sixers did win last night, they're a half game behind us. So we're at 7.5 behind Detroit in the Eastern Conference. And the Knicks are 7 games behind. And the Sixers are 8 games behind. So it's all jammed up right there, man. So basically, if the Raptors win tonight, and I don't know if the Knicks are playing, we'll be tied with the Knicks for 3rd place in the East. If we lose tonight, we'll be tied with the Sixers for 4th in the East. So either way, we want to win because this is a precarious situation where we can actually move in the standings a little bit depending on a win or a loss. Both ways. We could either go up or we can go down. And that's the thing, Raptors. So take that very seriously tonight when you're playing against the Golden State Warriors, because we are in a flux position in the Eastern standings, and we can move our position quickly right now because the teams are close to us right now. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Trevor's bringing up Jimmy Butler's season-ending injury last night, torn right ACL. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. I feel bad for Jimmy, but in some ways he's been kind of ass the last couple years. Seriously, like I don't know, man. Either way, it's horrible to hear people get injuries. That's just it. That's just it. There's nothing extra I should have to say about that. It just sucks. Alan Tam, bam, son. Good morning, Alan Tam. Bam, son, with your emoticon parade you got in here. That's right, Canada. Let's go, Canada. Our hearts with Canada, true north, strong and free. That's right. On guard for thee. That's right. That's right. Butler. Okay, you got the Butler. You got him hurt, and then he turned into an old man. Is that a commentary on this? I love this when, this may become a language one day, emoticon language. And Alan Tam is fluent. He's basically telling me Jimmy Butler's got hurt and he's an old man. That's what he just told me in the emoticons. I see what you're saying there, Jimmy. Loud and clear what you're saying there. Jimmy Butler is an old man is what you're saying right here. And okay, he's got one for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is doo-doo and he's hurt. I love this. This is childish. This is fun. This is silly, but it's also fantastic on a Tuesday morning to see Alan Tam's emoticon parade. Thank you, Alan Tam. I'm going to give you a dunk, my guy, for saying that Anthony Davis is doo-doo hurt. Doo-doo hurt. All right, Alan Tam. You got your second dunk of the year. You got the Corey Joseph Pickering 6. There you go, my guy. That's so good, man. Trevor's also saying this. Final vote for NBA All-Star. Ingram at number 10 and Scottie at 12. Yeah. Yeah. This is the vote count that's factoring in the media, the players and the media, and not just the fan vote. And yeah, it's interesting to see how they shook out like that. So Brandon got higher up. He was the 10th highest vote getter in the East, and Scottie was 12th. Yeah, Scottie made up some ground near the end there with campaigns and stuff like that. But yeah, they've got the starters. The starters are Giannis, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, and Cade Cunningham is the starting lineup for the East. And I think that that's a good starting team. I think that's representative of the teams that are at the top of the East, other than us. And they're righteously all stars. I can't argue with Tyrese Maxey, even if the Sixers are below us in the standings. I can't argue with Jalen Brunson because he's on the Knicks, and Cade Cunningham's at the top of the Heat, so he better be in there. And then Giannis is Giannis. He's just going to get in there for legacy and his work over his career. And then Jaylen Brown, he's another one of those guys. He's a champion and somebody who's been an all-star perennially every year. So I can't argue with the starters of the East. I think that the starters of the East are right. I think they're right. I mean, we could have made arguments that Scottie should be one of the starters, sure. But we know how that is. We know how that is. He's going to make the team. He better damn for sure make the team. That's what I would say to that. Yeah, speaking of Scotties, guys, Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. You've seen Scottie pushing the Scotties lately. Yeah, Scotties Tissue is, it's not totally a Canadian company, though, unfortunately. Scotties used to be, and of course, they do the Scotties curling tournament, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of iconography with Scotties. And of course, Scottie is in the Scotties commercials now with the little dog. And I keep joking that Scottie should get a dog like this, like the one on the Scotties box. He could have his other two dogs, Cardi and Cece, and get the Scottie dog. And Scottie, you should have a Scottie dog too. Even though, you're just in a commercial, it's a great advertising because of your name, Scotties Tissue and stuff like that. So you get it, So yeah, Scotties. I know Kimberly Clark owns this now, and they are an American paper company. But the good news is a lot of the products that are here in Canada are made here in Canada in Canadian plants and using Canadian resources. So it's not totally Canadian, Scotties, just so y'all know. It sucks. But I had to advertise something, and Scotty's putting in the commercials these days, Scottie Barnes. So Scotty's tissues. Yeah, I've actually got something that I'm sad about this morning that, it sucks, man. I found out this morning, just before the stream started, that one of my favorite drummers in the history of music has died as of this morning. 70 years old, Rob Hurst is the drummer of Midnight Oil. And he's just a really good drummer because he's one of those drummers that could sing while he's playing the drums. And it sucks, man. That band is awesome. If you guys don't listen to Midnight Oil, y'all should check them out. They're a band that have been singing about things that have mattered for decades now. And more than ever, the stuff that they sing about matters now. And it's just sad because I just feel really happy that I got to see that band play the last time they traveled through Toronto, and they retired, and now their drummer's dead. So rest in power, rest in peace, Rob Hurst, a real warrior and a battler for the environment and for Australia and for Aboriginal people and for the right things in this world, and a supremely talented drummer and a top-notch athlete. And I hate this, man. I found out literally like minutes before I came on the stream that one of my favorite drummers of all time, he's up there with Neil Peart, guys. It sucks, man. Either way, man, we love you, Rob. Wherever you're going to, I know it's a good place, and you deserve all the best in the world in your afterlife because you're a real hero. Seriously, man. All right, I'm using the Scotties, guys. See, Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. I'm sad about Rob Hurst dying. Sorry, I'm a nerd. Sorry, I love progressive rock. And sorry, I love a good band like Midnight Oil that sang about environmental degradation since the 70s all the way up until today. And we lost a real talent. Seriously, this dude's badass. If you don't know anything about Rob Hurst, go find out about him, please. Please. All right, I got to move on. All right, I got to get that out of me. In some ways, I want to do that before I even got on the air. Seriously. It's like, oh, I literally saw it while I was doing my tabs to get this ready. So, all right, let's keep going. Reggie's here. Good morning, Reggie. Warriors still want to trade Kuminga. Surprise considering the Jimmy Butler injury. Yeah, it's because it's too toxic. It's way, way too toxic. And in some ways, bridges have been burned. Things have been said. You know, I think that there's this weird story that came out recently that Draymond Green influenced Bob Myers and the Warriors to draft Kuminga and Moody. Like there's some sort of article I saw in the last few days saying that Draymond was the one who told the front office, hey, you should draft Jonathan Kuminga. Man, maybe that's part of the problem right there is they were getting Draymond to help them draft. Seriously, they've done horrible with their draft in the last few years. I mean, Brandon Podziemski, he's okay. But for the most part, the people they've been drafting have been duds. And that's interesting. Yeah, it seems like now that Jimmy's out of the way, well, Jonathan, you get your chance now. Is it too little too late? Is it too gone to a bad place? That's one of the questions we got to figure out, Reggie, right there. Seymour Papis here. Good morning, Seymour. Anthony Edwards All-Star snub is crazy work by the NBA, and Scottie too, but I'm not surprised. Are you not entertained? I mean, I know Wemby on the other side, Luka, right? Who else is on the other side? I don't even know. Steph, right? Those are three. Who's the other two? I don't even remember who's the other two on the West. I should have gone and checked this, but in some ways, that's how much I I care about who they are. Like, who is the other one? Where is it? They don't even have this listed. Why don't they just make a thing? So it's Luka, Shea, of course, Shea. Yeah, and Nikola, of course. That's right. Victor, Luka, Steph, SGA, and Nikola. That's the right team there, too. Seriously, because the Spurs are up at the top, and Victor deserves to be there. I mean, you can make an argument because he's coming off the bench that maybe a different Spurs should be there, but it's Victor's the star, right? So it has to be Wembanyama. Yeah, I think the All-Star starters are correct. I think on both sides, this is one of those rare years where the All-Star starters are absolutely right. Like, I'm going to say that. I think they're right. I don't think Edwards should be in there over any of these other guys. I mean, in some ways, you can make an argument he could have been in there and it would have been fine. But, maybe you take Luka out there and you put Anthony Edwards in there. You take Luka out. I think he's the weakest one out of these four other ones. Yeah, so maybe Anthony Edwards instead of Luka Doncic for the Lakers. I don't know. It seems like they got these starters right for the All-Stars. It's really weird, man. KT's here. Good morning, Kareem. Good to see you, man. I feel bad for Jimmy Butler. Having a torn ACL at his age could mean retirement. Yeah, you that's a good point. That's a good point, man. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to opine on this anymore. This is a dangerous thing to opine on or say anything. In some ways, it's just like it's a sad thing. That's all we'll say. How about that? How about that? Blackhawks got the Owls in the house today. Hoo. Slug DZ. Good morning. Good morning, the King of the Classic card. What happened to the 2-week rest and reevaluation for Yak? We're screwed on the trip if CMB doesn't play. Who would have thought a rookie would be so important to us? They're all important to us. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said at the top, like, look, maybe the Raptors are stress testing this team, and in some ways they figure out things this way. And in some ways it's like, I mean, I'm trying to rationalize it because in some ways it doesn't make any sense. It's like, Bobby, go get somebody. Go get somebody now. I mean, seriously, now that Colin's out, come on, man. You got to get somebody, right? Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. In some ways, we just got to ride with what we got and let Bobby do his job. And I know y'all are getting frustrated. People are like, why didn't he do something? Well, it's not always so simple. And there's probably a method to the madness once again. The timing may have to do with deadlines and money and things like that. And we just have to kind of like wait. Maybe he's coasting. Maybe he's trying to go through the season with an empty roster spot for most of the year because there's some sort of benefit for it. Does that make sense? Like maybe there's a real benefit for not having the whole roster filled like with an open roster spot this whole time. The Mo Bamba was in there for just a second. He got back out. that roster spot's open again. So I don't know, man. In some ways, I look at it this way: we can complain and get a little frustrated, or we could just be like, we got to go through with what we got, and we got to just do our best, because that's the way Darko and the players are looking at it. It's not like they can just like change it all of a sudden. So they're got like, we got to show up, we got to look at who we've got and who they got, and we just got to game plan for the best and just try and beat them. Just try and beat them. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. Nako's saying this: Anthony Edwards over Steph. I get off the clock at halftime so I can finally watch a game semi uninterrupted. So you're going to be done work in time to watch the second half tonight because it's a late game. There you go. All right, Gerald. Go on to work tonight and then get off work in time to watch the end of the game, the second half. Yeah, I'm going to take a nap today. Definitely. I had a hard time staying up for the Laker game, and that one started around 9:30, and it got done around midnight. This one's going to be even later because this is going to start at 10:30, and, we're going to be up till about 1, and doing all my post-game work, I'll be up till 2 or 3 tonight because I do a lot of work after each NBA game I watch for the Raptors. I do a lot of work. There's usually about an hour of work after the game is over that I have to get done to get prepared for the stream. So it's going to be a late night for me. I'm going to be going to bed. I'm going to take a nap this afternoon. I'll probably take like an hour or two nap today. Yeah, let's see. G saying this. Sixers play Suns tonight, so hopefully they lose. They are on a back-to-back. This is good. And I'm glad you pointed this out because, yeah, they're right on our heels, nipping at us. And, well, the Suns are a quality team this year. They're actually a top team in the West, and they have a good record. You go on, Villain Dylan, and take down Nick Nurse and his team, your former Team Canada coach that sold you out. Maybe you get all pissed off about that, Dylan. Go get all deranged in the mirror before the game. He left us. He totally sold out the Raptors and Team Canada. Nick Nurse. I got to beat his team. I hope Dylan Brooks gets in that mindset tonight. Yeah, go and use your Villain Dylan power against the Sixers tonight. Dylan Brooks. That's right. Trevor Jason, the Raptors game tonight is at 10. They say it's at 10, Trevor, but that's the pre-games at 10, and the games tips off at 10:30 often. It's often like that, man. It's like what I've noticed. It's like they say, because they said the game on Sunday was at 9, but that game didn't start till 10:30. So I don't know. We'll see if it's at 10 or not. We'll see. They often put the pregame time up there. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Good morning to you, MJ. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay, good morning to you. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, both MJ and Shaq. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. New York, damn. Yes, I want more from my boys. I want IQ to shine. I want Dick to start hitting threes, and I want Yak back. All these things are easy fixes, but how are you going to fix the Knicks? This is fantastic. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I was talking about early in the season, preseason, that at some point, somehow, some way, Knicks Nation, things will come apart at some point. There'll be a little bit of unraveling in some sort of way or some sort of how. And, well, you guys are in shambles and you're getting all upset because the Mavericks beat y'all. And that's the thing. This is why, all right, let's look at it as a team from the outside. Knicks Nation's overreacting to one loss. That's what this is. But can you see how silly it is in some ways? Like not it being us. Raptors Nation will overreact to one loss and say, oh, what was us? We lost to the Wizards and all this stuff. The way the Knicks Nation's acting about losing to the Mavericks last night, should we act like that? No. And that's why I'm saying that's toxic and it's crazy. And fan nation going to shambles from losing to a team with the worst record in the NBA is silly. It's immature. And in some ways, it's the toxicness of social media and the new NBA world with that involved. So it's like, okay, good. Maybe this will get all crazy in a toxic dump like Chernobyl or something like that. Maybe it'll get real toxic soon. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, OG still thinks you're lazy, Cat, and you don't play right on defense. Yeah, let's really pour some gas on that fire, right? Let's pour some gas on that fire. That's right. Fiercely saying there was that one song from Midnight Oil that I liked. I believe it was their biggest hit. Yeah, Beds Are Burning. How can we dance when the earth is turning? How do we sleep while our beds are burning? Yeah. And the thing is, Rob Hurst was the backup singer for that band, not the guitarist. They do sing too, but he was the primary backup singer. There's Peter Garrett, who's the lead singer, who's very tall and bald, and the promise, the promise. He sings all crazy. And then Rob Hurst is more of a harmonizing regular voice on drums. And he did so much of the backup vocals for their albums, like especially early on. And he would play the craziest drum stuff that was so fast, like, and meanwhile, he's singing at the same time, like at a different beat. And he's not singing easy lines, like quiet lines. He's singing his full voice, and he's hitting all the drums. Like, he had a full drum set, just like the drummer Rush. He had everything because he would hit all kinds of different percussion for songs of their in their catalog. So, man, he's a talent, man. I'm telling you, he's a real talent and real stamina. And the fact that they toured worldwide up until like 3 years ago, and he turned 70 in the last year, and he passed away this morning. Yeah, it sucks, man, because he was seriously, he's one of the most underrated, greatest drummers in the history of rock and roll. And in some ways, I just want to put him on blast a little bit more so people can understand this. Like, there's 2 albums that people should listen to if they really want to understand who Midnight Oil are. And it's not Diesel and Dust. It's Red Sails in the Sunset and 10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1. Those 2 albums right there are 2 unearthed, unknown 80s prog rock masterpieces, because they're just not normal albums. There's a mix of Pink Floyd in them with just their own unique, like, this is who we are. At some points it could sound like rock, it could sound like jazz, it could sound like classical, it could sound like heavy metal. It jumps all over the place, their music. And Rob Hurst was the beat to the drum that made it all change time and do everything. Like, he's one of those kind of drummers like Neil from Rush that can do time signatures and changes so smooth that you don't even notice it. He's just on a whole level. Seriously, if y'all don't listen to them, just listen to them a little bit. And most of their songs are for good reasons, like environmental concerns, indigenous rights. These are some of their main focuses of what they care about. They cared about having a clean beach to surf on in Australia. And Peter Garrett was such a big political person, he is still, that he ran for parliament in Australia, and he won. And he was in their government for many years fighting for green issues and environmentalism in Australia for like a long, long time. So it's not only he's a rock musician who toured and had a message, he actually got into politics and made a difference there too. So yeah, Rob Hurst, rest in peace, man. Seriously. Oh my gosh, man. Randolph Phillips is saying, blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. There are things within your power you can do to help keep your life stable when instability surrounds your life. Dig deep and call on your better angels. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have to be each other's angels in some ways, and it's already happening to a degree. There's a lot of people out there looking out for each other in new ways that we have to, because in some ways there's people out there subjugating people, whether it is like ICE and the immigrants in the United States. There's more people looking out for each other, and that's good. We need that energy, and do what you can to help other people, and hopefully that other side will come around and help you when you need it too. So yeah, blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, be in service to your fellow man, and let's help and heal the world, and let's not subjugate and hurt the world like some people want to do. In some ways, we need to have that light energy against the dark energy. That's what Martin Luther King was talking about. We got to be the light. We got to be the light. That's right. Fiercely saying this. I watched the Miami versus Golden State game yesterday. It was a good one. What's interesting is it was close. Then after Butler was out, Golden State went off and kept scoring like crazy. Draymond was out yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so they were better when Jimmy left? That's crazy. Well, I hope Jimmy tries to play. No, he won't. He's done. He can't play tonight. Oh, that sucks. Nako saying Anthony's had a real good season this year. Steph or Luka, but Ant should be starter. Once again, full name stuff, man. You're being lazy, and you're just expecting me to say that's who you mean when you say Ant. I don't think that I have a best friend named Ant that I call Ant. I don't call Anthony Edwards Ant. Luca, you can get away with. Steph, you can get away with. But Ant, don't do this, man. Come on now. Full name answer on this channel, guys. Come on now. Come on now. He may play today. Draymond's playing today. They rested Draymond last night to play us. He doesn't play back-to-backs. He didn't play last night. He's playing Toronto tonight. That's what it is right there. Fiercely said, okay, just heard you say Draymond was resting playoffs. Yep. See, Fiercely, you're a little too ahead. Let's see. Fiercely saying this. Canadian content, Andrew Wiggins had a nice tribute on his first game back to San Francisco. That's cool. I like that. That they honor Wiggins, a champion with the Warriors. In fact, he was very prominent in their last championship. And that he came back and got a hero's welcome, just like Kyle Lowry in Toronto. Good job. Good job, Golden State. Good job. Kareem Thomas is saying Jalen Harris drug-related ban in 2021. Jonte Porter banned gambling 2025. Koloko and Shamshay taken away from us. 82 away games after COVID. It's like the basketball gods hated us winning the chip in 2019. No, it's not the basketball gods. It's the office. It's the office. This isn't about basketball gods. Listen, I'll say this, Kareem. Once again, we're looking at it the wrong way. You're on the other side of the perspective from me. I will say this. Everything you just listed right there, those are the things that are going to get us good favor with the basketball gods. That's the thing. I partly believe that the 2019 championship for the Toronto Raptors happened because so many forces out there didn't want it to ever happen. Because so many different things held us back, whether it's Allen Iverson, whether it's all the different bullshit at different times that the Toronto Raptors got shafted on, that we got the championship because of that. So let them do this because it builds us up in the slingshot to come back and get the second one. So, yeah, go ahead, 82-game away game season. Oh, yeah, fitness to play panel. Oh, yeah, Jonte Porter gambling scandal. That's what I'm saying right here is that, look, when there's so much force against something like that, sometimes it gets through and it gets done. And that's what the 2019 championship was to a degree. And that'll be our second one, too. So go ahead, pile it on thick. Put all the obstacles and all the adversarial things in front of us. And we'll go through them and we'll get to that second championship. That's how I truly believe it. Seriously. Because that's the thing. You can only hold a good team down for so long. And Masai Ujiri says we are badasses. And we will be badasses with or without him. And I believe that. He believes in this city. He believes in this team. He believes in the culture he built. And it will come back around and get the second Larry O.B. And in some ways, the stuff you just listed is the fuel for our fire to get it. Because it all balances out, doesn't it? That's right. It all balances out. That's right. That's right. Kareem saying this. The fact that we are in fourth place is crazy. Toronto really knows how to rise up facing adversity. Exactly. We have to do it the harder way. And that's why when we do get to the higher levels, we succeed is because we went the harder route. We did it the harder way. In some ways, we had more obstacles in front of us. So we're more tested. That is part of it right there. And the 8 versus 5 stuff is definitely making us better and harder and better to go against adversity. If we're playing 8 versus 5, a third of our games, yeah, we're going to be a little bit more tested through controversy and adversaries and people holding us down. So in some ways it's good. It's the tough route. People can go the easy route, the Lakers and other people like that. They can go the easy route, but we have to go the hard route. And in some ways we're better for it and better prepared in the highest levels of toughness because of that. That's what I would say. That's the way I look at it. I know the assignment is not fair, but in some ways, let's game it to our advantage is what I'll say. Yeah. MJ saying you could hear Butler swearing while he was on the ground. He kept saying, fucking bitch, fuck, to the point it was uncomfortable to hear. He was in serious pain. Those mics should have been muted. Yeah. I mean, if anything, for profanity, for the children, they could have heard him. Man. Yeah. Those uncomfortable moments when somebody gets seriously hurt suck. Like, we could think about R.A. Gaboza when that happened in the middle of the game and Jose was cradling his head in his lap and just said, it's okay. He's like, and his legs like this way. It's like a Sid Vicious injury. It's just like, you don't want that. You don't want to see that. It's gross. And you feel bad. If you have empathy for people in pain, you just don't want to see people suffer. And Sid Vicious jumping off the top rope and snapping his leg in half in the middle of a WCW match in front of the whole arena. It was just like gross, man. It's disgusting. Just like Jorge Barboza. I'm sure that the visual of Jimmy was nothing like either of those two incidents I just mentioned. But still, you don't want to hear somebody writhing in pain and dropping F-bombs left and right. Yeah, they should have probably muted that microphone. You're right, MJ. That's right. Shag Lindsay saying the New York roster is overinflated. They're in a luxury tax hell. I love that. They probably think they can probably do an easy swap for Towns for Giannis. Laugh out loud. They need to get their head out of their bum. Leave Milwaukee. I really at this point I'm like, in some ways, this is the rebellion against the really crazy like movement and free agency in the NBA. I love if Giannis just stays loyal to the Bucks and it drives the NBA mad because they're the ones who want him to leave. He doesn't want to leave. The Bucks don't want him to leave. It's the NBA that wants Giannis to leave and the ESPN media heads because that's why they talk about it so much. They try to pry it apart. But Giannis is the ultimate, in some ways, the guy who decides this because it really is him. And, they'd be stupid. The Bucks are never going to want to trade Giannis. He has to force his way out, right? He has to be like, I'll never play for you again. I'm leaving. And then they'll have to trade him. But if he's never going to say that because he's like, I don't see why I have to do this. I don't have to listen to all the bullshit. I've won a championship. I've made something of Milwaukee while I was here. I have a successful Hall of Fame career. Why are you telling me I lack? Where do I lack? You can't do this to me. You did this to Dame. You can't do this to me because I've already won. Why do I have to leave? I like being here. My family's here. My children love it here. And I have to mess up their lives. They're little kids. And I don't want to mess up their lives just because ESPN wants me to be on New York. I mean, if we really think about this realistically, and the fact that he has consistently said he does not want to leave Milwaukee, and that all the bullshit rumors have been made up, fabricated things that are not true. I mean, I honestly thought this year that if Giannis really was upset with the Bucks not being competitive around him, that he'd freak out this year and say, oh, you're not building a real team around me, front office. I have to leave. But he's not going to do this. I can tell. His energy's not like that this year. In some ways, he's not impatient. He's not judgmental, and he's not coming at the front office saying, get me a better team. He's kind of just like doing the season and playing the games. And in some ways, he's not in this weird, rushed, hurried place where it's like, oh, we have to compete. The time is running out on my career. And so, no, he's accomplished. He's done what he's done. In some ways, winning one championship is enough. And people saying that, oh, you need to win multiple championships, that's just gaslighting. That's just bullshit. So I think he's smarter than everybody else. And he understands, he doesn't have to go anywhere. And he has the power. And they can make up all the bullshit they want to. That's going to be the thing that fucks up this whole idea that they can flip Cat for Giannis. That's going to be the thing right there, is that Giannis is not going to want to leave Milwaukee after all. And he won't, because he's thinking about his family. He's thinking about his community, and he's thinking about himself. Not necessarily Milwaukee. He's thinking about himself, and he's thinking about, like, who he wants to be and how he wants to be remembered. So this is hilarious. This is awesome, man. Yeah, Shaq saying Bucks don't want Towns. They will gut your team. Goodbye, OG. Goodbye, Bridges. Maybe even sayonara to Brunson. Yeah, I mean, either way, Knicks problems are Knicks problems. And it wasn't the coach. It's turning out to be problems with Cat, whatever it is. Hey, whatever it is, let it happen. Let it happen is what I'm saying right here. All right, let me go look at the Instagram stories this morning. We got Sandro hanging out with some friends. Oh, that's whatchamacallit, Jaja Potulia, who's a Georgian guy. So there's Sandro with some friends there. I guess Jaja is in Golden State. So he's hanging out. The Georgian guys are hanging out together there. Let's see who else. We got Jacoby Walter on the street in his Raptors gear and with, I guess, a coach. I'm not sure where he's at or what he's doing there. Jacoby, get better. We need you back in the lineup. There's a lot of guys missing right now. Gary Trent Jr. is still having his birthday hangover. He's got a nice picture of his lady. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. And the Bucks beat the Hawks by 2 points last night in a game last night. That's pretty cool. Elijah Martin with some highlights of him playing in the game against the Lakers and Luka Doncic and all the fun he had out in the court the other night playing against the Lakers. That's pretty cool. Let's see. We got Andrew Jones, who's imploring everybody to vote now for up next game for Elijah Martin and AJ Lawson. Get them voted in to the up next G League All-Star game. That's what he's saying. Elijah and AJ. You know, they're not playing for a bit this week. The G League 905 are off until like Friday or something. So they've had a nice 5-day break where they're just off for a while. So we'll see them. And I think they're in Long Island next game. They're going to be playing the Nets. I think on Thursday or Friday is the next G League game. But we've had some days off, no basketball this week, which is interesting. Kyle Lowry has got he's celebrating Tyrese Maxey making the All-Star team as a starter. He's also got a picture of him and Drake and DeMar on the cover of Slam, that iconic Slam issue where it said 6 gods, Lowry, Drake, and DeRozan. Yeah, I wonder why he's putting that on blast. He's got Maxey there. He also had a nice little clip of him getting the accolades from the Raptors fans at Scotiabank last week and talking about how special and how much that mattered to him. We're hearing more and more that Sixers fans really respected the Raptors fans showing the adulation for Kyle Lowry, and that they thought that it was pretty cool and classy that we did that for him that night. So that's pretty cool. All right, there's your Instagram stories for today as far as things. Yeah, not too much going on there. Seems like it's kind of quiet. All right, let me see what's next on my tabs. Let's see if you guys got another comment here. Kareem saying, we match up well with Golden State despite our laundry list of injuries. We do. We've played them well the last few years, and I don't know what it is. I mean, we do seem to get the games against the Warriors. We seem to fumble games against the Lakers and the Clippers, but against the Warriors, we take care of business. And our record against the Warriors since the championship is pretty good, considering how bad our teams have been in not making the playoffs in some of these years since the championship. I think our record against the Warriors since the championship is a winning record where we won most of the games against them since. I mean, I can remember going to a Warriors game after COVID when they first let people into the arena with Steve, and there was barely anybody in there, and we routed the hell out of the Warriors. Oh, we beat their ass so bad, but they didn't have half their team because they didn't cross the border. But still, it's been kind of like that energy every time we play them. It seems like it, yeah. Fish is saying, we are classy. We are classy. Okay, I hope so. I hope we are classy. Let's see. Raptors Reddit. Dare I look? Let's see. They're showing all the votes, how the Raptors fared in the player votes. Josh Lundberg tweeting this, saying that Ingram got 49 votes from the players. Scottie got 33 votes from the players. Quickly got 7. And Dick got 3. I don't understand who was voting for Grady Dick from the players. But, yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what else. This is an interesting spreadsheet. Wow. Okay, so Scottie was ranked 13th in the player voting, and Brandon was ranked 8th. So the players think that Brandon's the 8th best player in the Eastern Conference. That's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And as far as the media, Scottie is ranked 10th. So he got the best rank out of the 3 entities, the fans, the players, and the media, from the media. So Scottie's ranked 10th by the media, 12th by the fans, and 13th by the players. And Brandon was ranked 8th by the players, 10th by the fans, and 13th by the media. So they're kind of in inverse of each other. So it's interesting to think the perception of Brandon is more higher with the players, and the perception of Scottie is more higher with the media. Interesting. This is interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. And I don't see any of the other Raptors listed on this spreadsheet here for that. That's cool. Like checking the Raptors Reddit on that. Let's see. Somebody's saying, would it be wise to go for Kuminga now that Butler got hurt? What do you mean? Like, you want us to trade to get Jonathan Kuminga on the Raptors? No. People that have problems with one team, especially a good organization like the Warriors, which is very easy to get along with and be on because they're a class organization. And like, usually if you're not getting along with a team like that, it's you, because honestly, that's a winning organization, a classy organization, and one that most players would want to play for. But if you're not fitting in with them, the problem is with you. I'm sorry. The problem is with you. So no, we don't want other teams trash, is what I would say on this. Jonathan Kuminga is not worth getting to come to the Toronto because he's probably not got the personality for being a Raptor. So you guys can think about skills and think, oh, this and that. We're not trying to build the Portland Jailblazers here. And I'm not saying he's a criminal. I'm just saying some teams have different ways they build their team. And at a certain point, the Trailblazers were like, we just want all the bad guys that are like just bad dudes and villains, and we'll put them on our team. No, we have a certain kind of player. We're looking for high IQ winners that are tough and have dog and are two-way players and are just all kinds of different things. And I don't know if Jonathan Kuminga is that material. And we don't want to just grab a guy from another team to try and hurt a team because they have a position deficiency all of a sudden. I guess that's a strategy in fantasy or 2K or something like that. But you can't in the NBA. This is not a valid strategy. In some ways, you don't want to take on people's garbage just to hurt another team's depth. That's bad logic, is what I'm saying right there. It's bad logic for sure. Let's see. Who else we got here? They're asking what's calling out not playing tomorrow. Who's the fifth starter? I think it's Sandro. I think that Sandro gets there. All right, let's see. They've got a weird trade up here. There's a 3-way trade on Reddit that has Terry Rozier and Kelly Ware coming to Toronto. Why would we want gambling FBI investigation? Who put this in here? John Morant goes to the Heat, and Emmanuel Quickley and Simone Fontecchio in a first-round pick go to the Grizzlies. So we only give up Emmanuel in a first-round pick, and we get Terry Rozier and Kelly Ware? Why do we want Terry Rozier? That is not even supposed to be in there. Seriously. All right, enough with the Raptors Reddit. Sometimes they crazy there, man. They're crazy, some of this stuff they say here. It's crazy, man. All right, let's keep going. Fiercely saying, Lex, do you think the coaches will vote in Scottie or BI to the All-Star? For sure. Not Brandon, but Scottie for sure. Scotty's going to be in there. Yeah, Scottie should be the one. He's unlocked his defensive presence so much this year. I've talked about this already, that it's likely that the Raptors will only get one All-Star because that's just how it is. We have to be probably the top team in the league to get two, guys. We'd probably have to be the top team in the East or maybe second in the East to get two All-Stars, even if it seems like Brandon should be there too. You know, Brandon hasn't played as high level recently, and that does hurt his chances. The other thing that's going to hurt Brandon is this his first year with the Raptors, and he's got to have I've said this before you win an MVP or you get All-Star, you have to have a good year before, then you get another good year, and then you get considered. So Brandon just coming back from injury and having a good year this year, well, that's the first laying down of like consideration for next year's All-Star. And if he does it again next year, he should be an All-Star next year for sure. But this year, I don't think Brandon's going to make it. And it's really partly because Scottie deserves to go there more than him, and they will only probably allow the Raptors one All-Star. But we're going to get an All-Star for sure, and it's Barnes. It's Barnes. We know it's Barnes. Of course it's Barnes. That's right. AC is here. The undefeated, not undefeated anymore, but just one loss. Rise and shine. Jimmy's done for the season. Going to be a fun fantasy. Do you have Jimmy on your team, on your fantasy team? Is that what you're worried about? It's like because you're going to lose Jimmy Butler for the year. Let's go look at HC and see if he's got Jimmy Butler there on his team. Yeah, there he is right there. Yeah, you're going to have to put him on the, you could drop him. Man, this guy's already got Nikola and Austin Reeves and Devin Vassell on the injury list. Now he's got Jimmy Butler going there too. Tyler Hero also. Yeah, you've got a lot of injuries, HC. And, well, you're 12-1 still. And this week you're playing Duppy Conquerors. So you got a chance. You probably, Omari's not totally keeping up with his team all the time. He is sometimes. So, you got a chance. Fiercely saying this. We don't need Kuminga. We have RJ. Let him go to the Knicks. They seem to enjoy having some same players prototype on one roster. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never been big on Kuminga. People have brought up Kuminga over the years. And even before all this toxicness with him, I say, no, he's a knucklehead. We don't want him here. I said this like 2 years ago. And he was more of a good prospect then. And at this point, it's gotten so toxic with the Warriors. I'm like, no, come on now. Seriously, come on. And realize, look, Raptors fans, we're not a toxic dump for people to dump their bad contracts and bad players on. We're not that, and we're not a development team either, where we develop our guys up for teams to come steal them. So we got to stop having this mentality. Just because we have good players doesn't mean people need to come and try and get them from us. And just because teams have bad players doesn't mean they need to be unloaded to us, even if they seem like very talented players that may be useful, like Jonathan Kuminga, may be useful. There's too many ifs on that. Maybe. There's too much maybe. Fiercely saying Terry Rozier is his back. He's active. No, he's not. He's technically on their roster because he was on their roster when this whole thing happened. But I don't know if they waive him or what they do because he has a contract. But no, he's under FBI investigation still, and he's out due to the gambling scandals. So it's like having that involved in that trade tells you right away, like, yeah, this isn't a serious trade. Now, is Kel'el Ware worth that? Worth all that mess? I don't know. In some ways, we've talked a lot about him recently having possible toxic issues too. That Miami Heat are going through some things with Kel'el right now. Maybe similar to Jonathan Kuminga. You got to understand, some of these young guys have really crazy ideas about who they are and what they're supposed to be in the NBA, and they're not realistic. And in some ways, they're driven by egos that are way too big for who they are and what they actually do in the NBA. So that's part of it. You don't want an ego problem just because some guy comes in and thinks they're hot shit and they can do whatever they want. That's half of what this shit is, the problems with Kuminga and Ware, just so y'all know. Yeah. Fiercely saying people say stupid stuff on Reddit. My goodness. It's just a trade proposal that somebody from Raptors Nation put out there, and it could very well be a Miami Heat fan just trying to unload Terry Rozier and Kel'el Ware all of a sudden. Could very well be that. And they want Ja Morant in Miami, obviously. Oh, this is how we can make it work. We'll get Toronto involved. And this is how we'll do it, like that. It could very well, if they are a Raptors fan, they're misguided, and they just hate IQ, and they're trying to ship him to Memphis. That's the way I look at that kind of stuff right there. All right, let me see. I don't have a birthday today. No birthday today. So, yeah, we're going to run it down. Maybe we'll get done really early today, guys. This is only like an hour. That's fine with me. I can get more time to nap. All right, classic card. Let's see. Where are we going? Yeah, we'll do this one. Okay. All right. Here's the classic card of the day, guys. Full name answer. If you do not answer with a full name answer, I will not give you the points until you write the full name. So here you go. It's not very classic. It's kind of funny we got this guy today. Look, he's in the Jazz uniform. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Slug Easy's on it. Very easy. Very, very easy. I'd say that's a 50-point card. It's just too easy. Rudy Gobert is the classic card of the day on a what is that? A mosaic card. Yeah, man. Rudy Gobert. Slug Easy. 4 in a row, man. 4 in a row. This guy's not messing around. Yeah, it'll be 50. It's a 50-point card, just like Julius the other day. It's too recent. All right, y'all, get your last few comments in because I am going to skedaddle if we're done for the day. It's kind of the whole exercise here. I'll do a recap real quick. Take a water break. And do that. Yeah, real quick. All right. Once again, these are the injury report for the Raptors tonight. Colin is out, man. He's already ruled out due to his thumb injury. Jacoby is out, Jakob is out, RJ is out, and Chucky is out. No questionables, no ifs, ands, or buts. Pretty much everybody else is available, and those guys are definitely all out. So I'm hoping maybe the lineup will be Quickly and Shed with Brandon, Scottie, and Sandro is the starting lineup. I think that might be it. Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler, season-ending injury last night. He will not be playing tonight. Guy Santos is supposedly going to return to the Warriors lineup tonight. DeAnthony Melton is questionable, but we'll see. He could be playing tonight. Draymond will play tonight after resting against the Heat last night in a Warriors win. And Seth Curry is out for the Golden State Warriors. Now, let's see. Wow, we have the same record as the Warriors right now. Both teams have the same record, 25-19. Very interesting. The referees for tonight, Josh Tiven is the head ref. He favors the Warriors. Shea Flores is the second ref. They favor the Raptors. And Leon Wood is the third ref. He favors the Raptors. So we've got a couple of refs that favor us. And then the crew chief is Josh Tiven. And I don't trust Josh Tiven right now at all. I don't. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. All right. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak preview for today's game with the Golden State Warriors. Only an hour. That's pretty good. Remember, if you don't watch me live, I'm great to rewatch at 1.5 speed. You can really watch me fast if you watch me at 1.5 speed. If the stream is an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, you can cut that time in half with 1.5 speed. Because this hour stream could be a half hour if you just put it on a little bit faster. Thank you, Fiercey. I appreciate you. Hope everybody has a great day. And thanks for watching. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for the reaction for the game tonight, late tonight. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Raptorize your day. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to take my nap. And I'm going to do all the things I do to try and help the Raptors win in my weird OCD ways. My superstitious ways. Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Let's go Raptors and beat the Warriors tonight. We beat the Warriors in San Francisco and Oakland a lot. That's a good place for us to beat them. Yeah, we beat them a lot there. That's right. Later, I'll see you, MJ. Let's go.